All right. As we're live, be good to go. You guys can hear me. Please let me know. Sorry, I pushed the stream back a little bit. Baseball lock throws me off, and I do a NASCAR update right before we got on here. So we should be set. About 100 of you waiting. So appreciate y'all being here a little bit earlier than normal on Sunday. Very interesting slate today, and it feels like a tough slate, and not in the sense that there's a lack of good plays. There is plenty of good plays. We're having quite the opposite problem where there's too many good plays, and obviously we can't put them all in the same lineups. The roster construction's been a little bit difficult for me. Still gotta build personally, but I guess I'm gonna say go try it. We've been hot this year. Hopefully we can keep it up. Only 20 minutes late, not too bad. I did push it back 20 minutes, so I'm only 7 minutes late. But just to give a quick overview, I do see the dono, Chris Jenkins. I'll get to there right after this. But I just want to give a quick overview of the slate because I always just have my initial thoughts on the video on Saturday just because I need to get that out quicker. So after I ran projections and stuff, it pretty much seems like all the guys in the 5-figure range are going to be viable. But the ones that I am looking to get the most attention to are Denny Hamlin and William Byron. Just the Dominator upside is pushing them above the rest. Then Kyle Larson, I don't mind pairing one of them with a Kyle Larson or a Martin Truex Jr. because they're going to have Dominator upside and race winning potential for where they are starting. So pretty much all the 5-figure guys are fine, but I think you're going to want at least one of Byron or Hamlin in the majority of your lineups today. So those would be the starting points, and then you try to find which place differential option fits in with them. I think Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain are probably the easiest to get to because they are cheaper. Because I like Christopher Bell, but the problem is at $10,500, I think his upside's pretty similar to Chastain and Chase Elliott, but they come in at a bit of a cheaper price point. And they also project a little bit better as well. I do think Ross Chastain has better race winning potential today. So once we get through the expensive guys, so Elliott, I mean, I am just sprinkling those guys all the way around, and like I said, building around Hamlin and Byron today because they have the best shots of either winning or leading laps. And then once we get into the mid-range, Ty Gibbs is going to be a focal point for me. Now, if we can reference practice, but the track conditions are going to be pretty different. We saw Denny Hamlin say that in an interview, and the temperature's going to be different. So I don't think practice should be the end-all be-all. Obviously, if you're fast in practice, it's not a bad thing. Ty Gibbs was third in the 10 lap, but at similar tracks this year or just the intermediate package, he has been extremely fast. So I think at $8,500 getting a JGR car starting at 19th, that's going to be a big deal for me. So I will take plenty of Ty Gibbs today. And Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, they're kind of like those mid-range potential dominators. If I had to rank them, I would think as far as being a potential dominator, it'd just be the qualifying order: Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Tyler Reddick. But I really do like the discount we give with Tyler Reddick. Starting in fourth, $8,200. We know he's been very fast at the intermediates this year. And while I know Dover is a shorter track, it's a mile in length, they're still running the intermediate package, and he did show some speed in practice. So I kind of view them all as the same play, but you are getting Tyler Reddick at that big discount. I do like the RFK cars, starting 18th and 24th. Both of them are kind of popping up in the optimals a bit, especially Brad Keselowski in the 7-figure range, not the 7-figure range, the 7K range, because honestly, all these mid-range plays from like about 6K to 8K are just pretty non-existent. Not many good plays popping up right there, so the RFK guys are the ones popping a bit. And as far as cheap plays are concerned, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Preece, Zane Smith, Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar are the ones that are popping a bit, and John Hunter Nemechek. So kind of just a quick overview of the slate. Like I said, I'm kind of having some difficulties trying to get everything together because it just seems like there's so many good plays on paper, but not everybody can be a good play. Not everybody can end up hitting value. So it'll be fun to talk about this. But let me scroll all the way to the top, and we'll get started. I got a donor from CGen. Always appreciate it. Says, how many DOMs this week? And is the studs and duds kind of weak, or is it more of a balanced lineup? Myself, I am finding of going the stars and scrubs route because, like I said, the mid-range just really isn't that great. I mean, some of the potential dominators in the RFK cars don't look too bad. Ty Gibbs is like a standout mid-range play, but other than that, I really don't think any of these guys have to be a focal point in your builds. So stars and scrubs is perfectly fine with me. William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson. You probably can't afford those three in the lineup, but you're building around these types of drivers. And then at that point, you just have to get a little bit cheaper. And a lot of these 6K guys have similar upside to, I think, like the 7K range. So think stars and scrubs is probably the best way to go because this is a 400 lap race. That's 280 Dominator points to go around. And if we are neglecting Dominators to build a better lineup that looks better on the eyes, it's probably not going to end up being able to take down tournaments or anything like that. Because, I mean, if you're going between William Byron and Zane Smith, or you have to decide between like a Chris Buescher, Brett Keselowski lineup, you want that extra Dominator. And they're like, sure, Zane Smith's upside's probably capped around 25, 30 points. But if William Byron goes out there at least 200 laps and wins the race, and he gets you well over 100 points, that's going to make up for the 30-point split there. What's up, Johnny T? This is Morning Chris. What's your favorite FanDuel place for cash games? Any must plays? Thanks again, as always. Yeah, on FanDuel, so like I said, I have not built my lineups yet, but Chase Elliott would be a starting point on FanDuel for me, and also really like Ross Chastain. Now, I just ran an update on the projections, so I don't think anything would have changed, but let me re-upload these and see what the optimal is looking like on FanDuel, which has been doing very well recently. The problem is this week, I am seeing Zane Smith pop up in my optimal lineups on FanDuel, which you guys know me, I don't typically play scrubs on FanDuel, so it doesn't feel that great, but yeah, it has not changed. So my optimal on FanDuel right now, I gave you the top two. It's Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Zane Smith, which feels gross, but he fits you in all those scrubs. And like I said, the mid-range just kind of sucks this week. And then you have Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, and Zane Smith. So those are the ones that are popping, and Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain were in both. So I'd say that's probably your starting points for cash games today over on FanDuel. Dan says, on FanDuel, we don't care about Dominator points, but picking the race winner is a must to win a tournament, correct? Pretty much. Yes, I mean, I guess it would depend on what tournament you're in. Maybe you can get away with it in a lower single entry. But Dominator points matter slightly on FanDuel today because there's enough laps to where it might make a slight difference. But, like, I don't really have much interest in Kyle Busch on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I have slightly more interest there, but on FanDuel, I just don't really see too much upside for Busch in this spot. Not saying he's a terrible play, but he does project worse than pretty much everybody up above him price-wise. Like, for example, today, Kyle Larson, I have projected for a 7.16 projected finish, 47.45 laps led. Over on FanDuel, that equates to 91.08 points. But for Denny Hamlin, I've projected to finish 4.49, 60-ish laps led. Pretty spread out on the Dominator points today because I do think we'll see several lap leaders. And that equates to 87.44 points. So it's going to be the place differential definitely can outweigh over on FanDuel more than it would on DraftKings, because on DraftKings, I have Denny Hamlin projected better. Or like William Byron, I have projected worse than Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, I haven't projected better. So it's very slight. Michael says, top GPP Fords today for FanDuel, and will the Fords win one this year? Thanks for all you do, you rock. Appreciate that, Michael. Top GPP Fords on FanDuel. Only ones, I guess the ones that project the best for me would end up being either Ryan Blaney, Brett Keselowski, Chris Buescher. Other than that, really not a ton of interest. What's up, Mom? This is good morning, buddy. I'd ask a fan, good luck to you all. Let's get it. Logano. I'm not really a fan of Logano today, so I'm not rooting for your driver, unfortunately. But thank you for being here. Look, says, good morning, yeah. I want to get some Joey in my life today, but haven't found a way to do it. Yeah, I don't really see a reason to play Joey, to be honest. Starts in 13th, $8,800 on DraftKings. I don't see him getting any Dominator points at all. Like I said, practice probably is the best thing to look at this. I mean, again, if you're fast in practice, it's a good start. But 5-race sample size, some of the data that I'm looking at, running position of around 18th, one top 10 finish to show for it, and just doesn't really pick up any Dominator points. Like, even if you finish this top 10, if it's not in the top 5, it's really not going to make noise today, assuming there's no Dominator points mixed in. Hopefully that answered your question, Dan, as far as the optimal. I ran some of the projections there. But, I mean, don't neglect the guys that can lead laps on FanDuel. I mean, they're finishing up front. That's still awesome. What's up, Sean? What's the chalk? DraftKings and FanDuel cash line. I answered FanDuel. DraftKings, that's a tougher question for me. I am trying to figure out what will probably be the chalkiest way to go on DraftKings. If you go the Kyle Larson route, something like Larson, Hamlin, Elliott, would probably be a popular trio up top, and you could fill it out with guys like Zane Smith, Daniel Suarez. I think fair price point, maybe Corey Heim at the end. If you don't go Kyle Larson because of the price point, and you go slightly more balanced, you could go something like Denny Hamlin, Chastain, Elliott, Keselowski, Hocevar, Zane Smith, or just throwing whatever 6K driver you want. If you don't want to go Hocevar, maybe John Hunter Nemechek. I think he would fit there. Ty Gibbs is also a fringe cash play. So I think it's really spread out. And you could interchange Byron and Denny Hamlin. I feel like they're pretty much the same exact play today. I have a slight preference on Denny just because you get 3 extra PD spots, but they are very close together. What's up, Chris? Says Blaney and Gilliland or Kyle Busch and Priest. I'd have to go Kyle Busch and Priest there. Blaney and Busch are a very similar plays to me. You get just a little bit of a discount on Kyle Busch, and he's also in the preferred spot to start the race. But I don't think either will be the top dominator today. But if it is cash games, Kyle Busch does fit a little bit better. Michael says, my dominator group today is set with Busch, Blaney, Byron, Denny, and Reddick. Should I add any others in 20 max? No, I do think guys like Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain can be potential dominators today. I know they're starting a little bit further in the pack, but if you wanted to throw them in the dominator group, I wouldn't have an issue with that. But you'd want to at least set that to 2 for sure. Football says top 4 dominators today. Put my projection here. So my top dominator tool for me: William Byron number 1, Denny Hamlin number 2, and Larson 3, Truex 4, and Kyle Busch 5. That chance to be the top dominator for me. And I know Busch starts a little bit. Kyle Larson starts a little bit further back. Ross Chastain starts a little bit further back, but obviously more so stage 2, stage 3 threats, but plenty of laps to lead in those stages too. What's up, Jake? Says, thanks for the help, everyone. I'm crushing my dad and his friends. Fantasy League. They want to kick me out. That's a good thing. I'm glad to hear that. Says, anyway, what's your top 4 finishers today? Top 4 for me, projected finish. Be Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, and Martin Truex Jr. That is my top 5, which feels a little bit weird having Blaney there, but did run very well at Dover last year. He's got good track position, showed some speed in practice. I can't hate on it. What's up, Clint? Happy race day. Hit the like button, yeah. The like button goes a long way. Free and easy. It says Elliott, Chastain, Buescher, Keselowski, Suarez, and Bubba on DraftKings. How does it look? Thanks. I mean, it's a balanced build, and that's one of those things where it looks good in the eyes because you don't have any scrubs, but you're really just lacking potential dominator points. Sure, Elliott, Chastain potentially, more so Chastain over Chase Elliott in my opinion, being a potential dominator. But I think you're gonna want at least someone somewhere closer to the front because like the PD is fine, but I mean, if you don't have a lap leader in there, you're gonna be dead. So I would try to maybe swap someone out. Instead of going completely balanced, try to get one of those top end guys that can lead a lot of laps. And probably just throwing like a Zane Smith at the end. Probably be a better way to go, especially if it's a tournament. Got done it from a man spread. Appreciate that. Appreciate you crushing as always. Yeah, hopefully we can keep the good times rolling. Been a good few weeks for sure. I do appreciate the dono. Top 5 to win the race. Guess I just answered that one. I do have my only bets this week. I know everyone always asks me. It's just the only one that I did earlier in the week. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. Denny Hamlin to win, plus 800, 1.2 units on that. And then also Hamlin top 5 at plus 140 per unit. And those have since moved in the right direction for me. So I feel good about that. And I don't really want to add any more bets. I am still showing slight value on Hamlin, Byron, and Blaney to win. But I think I'm just going to stick with Denny and ride that out. Feel good about the number we got, and feel very good about Denny's car. Dave says, what's the optimal lineup on FanDuel? Right now I have Reddick, Chastain, Byron, Buescher, and Keselowski. It's definitely a little bit different. I know I'm behind on the chat, so I already answered that one for you. But for those curious, it was Hamlin, Chastain, Bell, Elliott, Zane Smith. But if you want to go the Larson route, Larson, Chastain, Elliott, Ty Gibbs, Zane Smith, I think looks pretty good too. Again, have not yet built. So I'm going to which route I'm going to go. But I'm going to be spreading out my exposure for sure, especially on FanDuel, where the Dominator points aren't going to add up really. CD says, happy race day, Chris. Any chance Zane Smith will be optimal? I would say there's a pretty decent chance. And I don't think Zane Smith's going to be fireworks today, but he doesn't have to be. If he can just contend for like the top 30, people take it. I have Zane Smith's projection today for 24.13 points. That's 4.55x, but that is the best of all the scrub drivers. Got him for a 28.96 projected finish, and he's showing up in the optimal a lot. So I am 100% fine with Zane Smith, and if you're cash games, really just in general, he is a great lineup filler down there. And he did show some speed in practice too, which was encouraging at least. Again, the track is going to be different than it was yesterday morning. I mean, it's not a bad thing. You're showing speed. Better than just being extremely slow, I guess. Got a donut from Manny. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, Manny. As always. What's up, Rick? It says, I'm feeling Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski today. Thoughts? And what about Jimmy? I think we're just naming the elderly at this point. Might as well throw in Denny and Martin with them. But I like Brad Keselowski because of the price point. He is someone I am getting to today. He's starting in 24th. He just finds a way into the top 15 somehow. So I'll take Brad if you need a cheaper play in the mid-range for some place differential. Kyle Busch, I am planning on being underweight on Kyle Busch. I think he'll probably be in the mid-20s to ownership, maybe slightly below that. But I'm showing him optimal right around like 20%. So I think being underweight on Kyle Busch is a strong way to go in. On FanDuel, I'll definitely be overweight over there just because there's really not much upside because he can't lock in that Dominator cushion like he could on DraftKings if he happens to dominate stage 1. And I do think there's going to be several lap leaders today. I'd be highly shocked if someone just leads 300 laps. I mean, these kind of tracks, Dover is very unique. But like the intermediates, we do see a decent amount of switching, especially if there happens to be cautions. And Jimmy Johnson, the prices came down a bit to where I think he is playable, but he's just been a really tough guy to trust. So I'd say maybe like 10 to 15% of lineups for Jimmy Johnson. But of that group, I do like House. What's up, C. Mitch? Happy race day. Am I wrong to start my build with the cheap guys like Hocevar, Zane Smith, John Nemechek, and Priest, and fit in the Dom's higher place differential? No, that's fine. Although typically for me, I build from top to bottom. So like if I want to do a Denny Hamlin build, I'm not going to start with the other guys and then see if he fits after that. I'm going to start with my Dominator, and then I'll see what fits after that. So I usually go a bit up. And then just see whatever cheap guy fits in. Because honestly, all the cheap guys typically suck. So you just really kind of got to get lucky with those ones. Mark says, not on Busch today. He will eventually lose track position. His picker hasn't been stellar. I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I really just don't think he's going to be in first all day. Plus, he's had some issues on pit road this year. Not that you can bank on that, but personally for me, I would be underweight on Kyle Busch. I am playing a single entry. I'm probably not playing him. 3 max, iffy. 20 max, 150 max. That's when you start playing him a little bit. But he is definitely not my favorite play. I've projected for the Kyle Busch projection today is 45.5 points. Gave him an 8.6x finish. 35-ish laps led and some fast laps mixed in. Like, decent day, sure. I don't think he's going to run away with the race, though. Six finishers in the top 10, no particular order. I guess I'm kind of confused what you mean. I mean, my highest projected finished guys are going to be Hamlin, Byron, Blaney Larson, Truex, and Kyle Busch. That's what you're asking? 24 for Byron. Hamlin, Keselowski, and Truex. I like them all today. I think Truex is a pretty solid tournament play just because he is priced right by Kyle Larson, then he's sandwiched just in between all of these extremely good plays. Byron, Hamlin, guys that can lead laps. He's kind of in that weird spot. He doesn't have a nice 2 in front of his qualifying spot. He's got a 1, so he's kind of like in that no man's land. But won the race here last year, very good at Dover. Been good in this package this year. I don't see a reason why he's not going to be fast. And you have the chance to dominate a race here for a 4-lap race. I mean, you're going to be in the player pool. So Truex is a very strong tournament play today. Because the ownership is not going to be like it would be on Kyle Larson, for example. Larissa says Calby. I mean, I get the reasoning from it, like Kyle Busch. I got him projected for 5x, so it's not like he's in the dumpster by any means, but I do have other guys projected a little bit better. Dave says, not that it means much. Well, it means much to me. But I really like Chastain today. I don't see a reason not to like Ross. I mean, he's great at intermediate type tracks. He's been very good at Dover in the past, although he killed Kyle Larson last year, unfortunately. But I don't see a reason why we wouldn't like Ross. Get some PD mixed in with the chance to be a potential dominator. Definitely fine with that. Better finish, Busch versus Reddick. I think I have Busch just slightly higher. I think. Yeah, 8.67 for Busch, 8.89 for Tyler Reddick. Good morning, Preacher. We live? Yes, we are. Congrats to the over bettors. Over is just the gift that keeps on giving. It's always a lock. Only 20 minutes. What's up, Soda Pop? Says, how do you like Bowman? He's run good here as of recent. I just can't play him in DFS today. I just can't do it at 90. Was it 9,300 bucks? Yeah, sure. He could be a fringe top 10 guy. I got him projected to finish around 13th. He has been very good here, but he's gonna have to lead laps. Like at his price point, he is competing against guys like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch. I just don't see the upside for him. So it's going to be a pass on Alex Bowman for me today just because of how much they priced him. If he was like in the 7 to 8K range, maybe we get more interested, but I just can't do it. What's up, Dwayne? Good afternoon. 0% chance of rain for the first time in years in Dover. Yeah, for sure. Xfinity was it was close last week. Or not yesterday. But we got it in. But how do I like Blaney, Bell, Haley, John Hunter, Nemechek, Suarez, and Truex for single entry GPP, fading Larson? Thank you. You get Blaney up front who can dominate. Bell, PD, Nemechek, Haley, Suarez, Truex. No, that's not a bad build. I mean, it's not the first way I would go. Personally. And I'm not saying I don't like Christopher Bell today, but I am probably having a harder time getting to him over on DraftKings. FanDuel, it's a little bit easier. But his price point, man, it's tough because it cost you a William Byron, it cost you a Denny Hamlin, and I don't feel that great about that. But I mean, if it is a tournament, I understand the build. Justin Haley is not someone I'm getting to a ton of today, though. Larson 60% owned? I don't think so. I got Larson around 35% ownership projected. I mean, everyone plays Kyle Larson every single week, and he's starting in 21st. He's the favorite. Pretty sure on every book to win the race, and I'm very good at Dover and these types of tracks. So he's going to be owned today for sure, but I don't think he'll be anywhere near 60%. Rick says, wow, CP Indian shirt, watch out for the, I don't think so. I don't think we have to watch out for him. And I just saw your dono, Pugsley. Don't know why it's so late every time, like showing me on here, but appreciate it. It says DK Tourney, Willie, Chase, Reddick, Ty, Suarez, and Smith. I'm going to give that one a thumbs up. I love William Byron today. Love Chase Elliott. Tyler Reddick's a very interesting tournament play. His price point, like he has legit dominator potential with his track position, and he's really cheap. And I love Ty Gibbs today, Suarez, and Zane Smith. Yeah. I'll give that a heart. I do like it. What's up, Grade A? Happy race day, everyone. Bedhead, good luck. Glad FanDuel still has 20 max at 4K. Hopefully it increases throughout the season. Good luck, chat. Yeah, I saw it was back to a $4 entry again, so that's at least a positive. Hopefully it keeps going, although I think we all know with NASCAR, once we get closer to football season, the contest just goes. It's unfortunate. We'll get to you as well. What's up, Keith? Says I like a lot of Reddick and Busher today. Busher's kind of like in the middle for me, but Tyler Reddick is showing positive leverage. I'm showing him optimal close to a quarter of the time, and ownership should be a little bit below that. So I do think Reddick is a pretty strong tournament play. Because if he leads any laps today or just picks up fast laps and can hang around that starting position, that's a great day, $8,200. Especially when the mid-range is really not that great. Candace says Rowdy will crash out. He's pretty good at that a lot of time. I don't believe he wrecked out in practice and qualifying, so I guess he's due for it during the race. His weekly spin out. So he says, how about Byron, Elliott, Gilly, Haley, Suarez, Truex for single entry? And for single entry, I'd have a really just hard time clicking on Justin Haley myself. I mean, the rest looks good, but not sure Haley's my first choice. How much is he? Haley's 54. I mean, if you could just play Zane Smith, I'd feel a little bit better about it. Car should be a little bit faster. Bowman. Yeah, not a fan of Bowman today. Rob Dar says, hey, Chris, my wife and I continue to enjoy your show every week. I appreciate you guys watching. What do you think of Chastain and top 3 outright? So my fair odds for Chastain to finish top 3 today are plus 534, which I don't think you're going to get that number. I think DraftKings had it at plus 380, so I am below that person. What's up, Keegan? Haven't played DFS in 2 weeks, so they come back to this mess of a slate. Yeah, it's tough out there today. Very tough. I mean, it's not tough. Like I said, it's not tough in the sense there's not enough good plays. It's just there's too many good plays, but they're not all going to end up being good plays. That's the tough part. I like that lineup the best, Dwayne. I like the Byron Gibbs, Kosovar, Larson, John Nemechek, Suarez. I think that one's the best one that you mentioned. That'd be my favorite. Robbie says, is Noah Gragson worth the play today? Not for me. I just don't see the upside for him. He's in a very, very tough spot today. Starting in what, 5th? And starting in 5th, I just see it. Very, very, very strong chance he ends up moving back. Matt says, what's DK Cash looking like for you? Tough out there for the cash game streets. If you go the Kyle Larson route, I think you need to pair him with one of the guys. Like, if I am playing cash today, you need to start with either one of William Byron or Denny Hamlin, in my opinion. Then you got to pair him up with some of the PD guys, whether that wants to be Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, or Kyle Larson. Possibly Christopher Bell, although the price is a little bit tough for me. I think you could pair him up with 2 of those guys. And then it's kind of just lineup fillers after that. Zane Smith, Daniel Suarez would be fine options as lineup fillers. But I want at least one of the tier 1 dominators. Like tier 1 for me, it's Denny Hamlin, William Byron. Those are your tier 1 dominators today. And tier 2, you're looking at Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick. What's up, Miss Jules? Happy race day and good luck, everyone. Hopefully you have a nice time at the pool, which is where you are right now. Hopefully the sun is shining. I have the blinds closed, so I'm just going to assume it is. But thank you for the good luck. How much would tire wear be, I think, today? It should be. I mean, Dover will eat the tires up a little bit, so I can't imagine it'll be anything like Bristol, but we'll probably have some fall off for sure. Heimer, Gillen, last guy in cash. I will roll with Corey Hine there. I have projected a little bit better. It's actually decently close, though, but a couple spots further back for Corey Heim. I got him predicted to finish 26. And Todd Gillen predicted to finish 26.74, but with Heim starting a couple spots further back, he gets the slight edge there. It's me, it's Ernest T. Says, hey Chris, how many cars do you think will be a lap down in the optimal GPP lineup? 1 or 2 or none? God bless. I'm not 100%. I mean, it depends. Like if a lot of the expensive guys smash. Zane Smith could be optimal, finishing 28th a lap down. Like that's possible, but it'll just really depend on how many cautions we get. Because if we get a ton of cautions, these guys can end up just getting back on the lead lap. So really tough to say that. Thoughts on Stenhouse on DraftKings. I thought my video that Stenhouse would project a little bit better for me, but he is just not really popping up too much at all. I got him projected to just finish outside the top 20, which is just under 20 points. So he's just really not showing up too much. He says, what is your projected ownership of John Nemechek of high owned, good chalk, or bad chalk? I think I've projected around 19-20% owned today, just because people are going to need lineup fillers. Honestly, it felt a bit high, but if people are jamming in those guys up top, I mean, you just naturally have to go down to that 6K range, 5K range. And I personally would be underweight a little bit on that. I mean, there's so many other random cheap plays that I don't really think are going to be too much of a difference. Thoughts on Barry and DraftKings 20 max? Well, if I'm playing 20 lineups, maybe like 2 to 3 of Josh Berry. I'm showing him optimal close to around 10% of the time, which is actually better than I thought when I was eyeballing the slate. I got him predicted right around the same as Ryan Preece. Obviously, Preece a little bit cheaper, so he's going to pop up more. But I mean, I think Josh Berry can be a top 15 driver today. Obviously, just not much room to move up. Any Truex left for Chico? Truex double up weekend will be fun. Yeah, they doubled up last weekend. Ryan Truex, spoiler, I know I spoiled it last week. But Ryan Truex with the win at the end. Very awesome race. It was pretty boring at first, but then once the rain caution hit and all that stuff, it ended up being fun. They were wrecking. Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, all those guys. But yeah, I mean, Truex is a very strong tournament play today. I mean, I feel like he's a pretty similar play to Kyle Larson, and everyone's going to play Kyle Larson. So I want to some Truex too. Bush is Kush says, tough decisions today. I would 100% agree with you. Darren says, DK Cash, Hamlin, Byron, Suarez, or Bush, Reddick, Larson. I will go Hamlin, Byron, Suarez of that group. I think Jimmy Johnson love today. I wouldn't say love. He's just, I mean, he's one of those guys where that's the price you land on. Sure, throw him in, but I am not going out of my way to play Jimmy Johnson. I'm not age shaming him. He's a tough guy to trust in the next gen car. Hunter says, happy race day to the best out. Feels a little bit sus because I know how you are, Hunter. But also, happy birthday. 21st birthday tomorrow, so live it up. Have a good time. Although, it's exam week, so don't live it up too much. What's up, David? Got Byron, Hamlin, Reddick, Gibbs, Hocevar, Zane Smith. What do you think? Love Byron Hamlin. Reddick, Gibbs, Hocevar, Zane Smith. I mean, it's pretty top heavy as far as the starting positions for the first three, but I can't argue against. I like Hocevar a lot today. I think Hocevar is probably like the best tournament cheap driver. Because if everyone's playing the PD guys and passing ends up being extremely difficult, which wouldn't be too surprised if it is. I mean, the guys that are really fast in the back should be able to move up, like Chase Elliott's, Mr. Bell, Ross Chastain's, those kind of guys. But if the cheap guys just get stuck and Hocevar sticks it in P18 all day, you'll take that. You're good, Michael. No worries. Any AJ love? I am not getting the AJ today. I really can't trust the collie car starting that far up. Dave says, sounds like Zane Smith is becoming chalk and he got some ownership, a good pivot off of Zane. Yeah, I assume Zane will be the chalk today. I have him in the 30s for ownership. It's just mainly because if I am jamming in studs today, which you're going to do at Dover, all the guys in the 5-figure range are 100% in play today. There's really not anybody you'd want to fade. So at that point, you just have to naturally get down to these cheap plays. And Zane Smith, better name than, I know Ty Dillon's not on this, but Ty Dillon, Caprala, got more name value than that. He's a little bit fast in practice, starting in 37th. Really hard not just to gravitate towards him. If you're looking for a pivot, I know they're not the same exact price point, but I like Carson Hocevar, a little bit more expensive than that. Corey Heim, I do like. I am concerned about the lack of experience in the next-gen car for sure, but for where he's starting, if he can just get top 30, I won't complain too much, I guess. But I think there's upside for more. Todd Gilliland would be a decent pivot too. Groups for today and who are in those groups, I really would just have a Dominator group. It would be Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Byron Hamlin. I mean, the obvious guys like Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex. I'd probably be my Dominator group, set it to at least 2. Who is my favorite low-cost place differential play in GPP? Low cost. Like cheap, like we're talking like 6K range. If that's the case, probably like Carson Hocevar doesn't have the most differential upside in the world. Ryan Preece, Carson Hocevar, those kind of guys I'll be getting to for him. It's so hard this week. Got to choose Doms or PD. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not a choice of FanDuel. It's a little bit different because you don't get those lap lead points. But on DraftKings today, I don't think it is a choice between PD or Dom. Like, you have to have at least one Dom. I mean, it's too many laps to ignore the Dom. But after that, though, it's like, do I want to get another guy starting up front, or do I want to just go strictly PD after that? So I understand what you mean. But, I mean, at the very least, you have to play at least one Dom today. The thing is, though, I mean, a Dom could be a guy like Martin Truex Jr. starting at 15, Kyle Larson 21st. But realistically, I mean, I'd probably want like a Hamlin or Larson. A Hamlin and Byron. At least one of those guys in the large majority of my lineups today. Do I like Barry or Busher in small field GPP? Thank you. Yeah, both guys are showing up a little bit for me. Busher over Barry, preferably. If you play PD, you're losing out on 30 points in stage 1. Absolutely correct. Thing is, though, I mean, let's say Kyle Busch. I'm not saying this is what I think is 100% happening. I'm just giving an example. Let's say Kyle Busch gets all those Dominator points stage 1. Well, if he ends up losing 10, 12 spots during the race, it pretty much zaps away all the Dominator points. Not completely, but like, for example, if Kyle Busch finishes 10th today, that's 25 points. Whatever he did for the Dominator, let's just give him 20 Dominator points. That's about 45. Kind of what I haven't projected for today. So, kind of just to give him pool today. Michael says Larson, Keselowski, Byron, Priest, Suarez, and Stenhouse. I'm not like huge just on Stenhouse today, but it's just being a last lineup filler. Do like Larson, Keselowski, Byron, your main Dominator pair with Larson, I like that. You got the Hendrick stack going. I can rock with it. Frank says Core 4, hope you're having a nice Sunday. In Core 4 for me, I mean Hamlin, Byron, Ty Gibbs, I like a lot, and then Zane Smith. I guess they're guys I am building around today. It'd be for DraftKings, I guess. It's the biggest amount of salary you've left on the table today. I could really give you an exact number at the very moment, but I cannot see myself leaving anywhere close to like $1,000 on the table today because I am jamming guys up top. So I'm having a salary issue where I need more salary. So this is not a good week to leave money on the table, in my opinion, assuming these big name drivers do end up getting there, which I mean, a few of them should. That's all really all it's going to take. Good morning, Rick. What do you think about this lineup on DraftKings? Hamlin, Reddick, Bubba, Byron, Stenhouse, and LaJoy. And I love Hamlin and Byron. Throwing in Reddick in there, I mean, again, like it's very top heavy. I'd be kind of shocked if all 3 end up dominating. Other than that, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Stenhouse. But I did not see LaJoy there. I really just don't like LaJoy today, so if you can maybe swap him out for someone else, I'd feel a little bit better. I just don't think Corey LaJoy is going to have any speed. Busher, Keselowski on FanDuel. I'll take, because I feel like they have very similar upside, so why not just give me the guy that starts a handful of spots further back. Keselowski. What's up, Chris Logan? Says, good afternoon. What is leverage today? The guys that are showing some leverage for me, Hamlin, Reddick, Chastain, Kosovar, Truex. A few of the guys that are having some positive leverage today. Can I rank Gilliland, Smith, Heim if pricing doesn't matter? Yeah, it'd be Smith, Heim, and Gilliland for me. Gilly or LaJoy in tournaments, I would take Todd Gilliland. Would I play Nemechek or Stenhouse as the last driver? I believe I have John Hunter Nemechek projected a little bit better than. I'll go with John Hunter. Showing only back in 34th. Steve says, this was the race I thought I had on DraftKings until the Chastain incident. Yeah, that was brutal. I remember Dover was going very well, and then I remember fading Kyle Busch last year, and he ended up screwing himself over, starting on the pole. And then I had a lot of Ross and I had a lot of Kyle Larson. Then, oh no, Ross just torpedoed Brandon Poole into Kyle Larson. So that sucked. It says 3 wide, 3 most pays. 3 most pays and a 20 max, 3 to leave out, and 3 to get weird. I guess in 20 max, I'm building around Byron Hamlin and I guess Zane Smith. 3 to leave out. I really any of these guys that don't project very well. Alex Bowman, I'm not getting to. Joey Logano. Not really getting to Austin Dillon types. And then 3 to get weird. I guess Truex is kind of weird today. I don't think the ownership's going to be as high as it should be. Tyler Reddick would be someone else on my GPP radar. That I like Carson Hocevar. Best Dominator, Byron over Truex. Yeah, but I have Byron as the top Dominator today. Him and Denny Hamlin are like, flip a coin on that. AP says tournament strategy. I feel like I went over, but I mean, just getting to like the likes of Denny Hamlin, William Byron over some of the PD plays, being more overweight on them. They can rack up the Dominator points. I guess would be a starting point for me. Good afternoon. I'm picking Noah for the first time winner, says Carmi. I do not see that happening. Guess you never know, but I have a 0.3% chance to win for Noah Gragson. I'd be extremely shocked. Thoughts on Gibbs today? I love Ty Gibbs. He's too cheap. When you can get a JGR car starting at $8,500, you will take it. And this race data set that I'm looking at, 5-race sample size for Ty Gibbs, he's been really good. 9.6 running position, which is only behind Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin. 101 driver rating, which again is really only behind like 3 guys. 2 top 10s, 4 top 15s, some Dominator points mixed in, some fast laps. $8,500. I will take Ty Gibbs starting mid-pack. How hard is it to pass? Is place differential as much of a priority? I mean, it's always going to be tough to pass in these cars. I think the guys that are fast enough will be able to move up, like a Bell, like an Elliott. Those kind of guys will be able to move up. So yeah, I am playing them. But the priority today is Dominator points. Like, if Elliott finishes 7th, sure, great day. But if Byron ends up, like I said, leading 200 laps and finishing top 5, you'd much rather have William Byron. Not saying you can't play both together. I'm just an example. Mark says, Chris, do you think the track races differently today since weather is much different where they qualified? Yeah, I definitely think that's probably what's going to be the case today. I mean, I really don't think it's going to be a surprise who will be fast. Like, it's probably going to be Denny. Like, whether Denny was fast in practice or not yesterday, he was. But even if he wasn't, I don't see how Denny would be slow today. I don't see how Byron would be slow. Larson should be good. Like, pretty much all the guys we'd expect to be good, I think will be good today. Just a matter of which one actually just absolutely dominates. But yeah, it should be different. Like, I don't, obviously Christopher Bell's my one, but Chase Elliott's on a 29th place car. I don't think Ty Gibbs is the 19th car. I don't think Kyle Larson's a mid-pack car. Thoughts on the 99? I like Suarez just because of the price point. Starting at 31st, should contend for a top 20. If you're looking at similar tracks for him, 16.6 average finish, 21st in the running position, 3 top 15s, 4 top 20s in 5 races. Yeah, Daniel Suarez is perfect. Thoughts on Carson? Think he can get top 14? I don't think he'll top 14, but I do like Hocevar today. I think he's got the best chance of the scrub drivers to finish high, finish in that top 20. Ross says, Elliott, Buescher, Bell, McDowell, Hyman, Gibbs. Thoughts? Don't really see myself playing much McDowell today, if any. Other than McDowell, I like Elliott, Buescher, Bell. Ty Gibbs. The issue is you don't have a Dominator. So I can't recommend that lineup. You're going to have somebody that can lead some laps. I mean, you might be able to min cap that, or maybe if all the Dominators end up wrecking at the end, sure, but you got to have somebody that can dominate. Pugsley says Suarez or Priest. I will take down Suarez, assuming the price doesn't matter. How do I feel about Larson today? That's Tanya. I think Larson should be. I have him as my highest projected driver. Now, with his price point, that doesn't mean he's going to be the guy I get to the most. But I don't think Larson will have a bad day. He should be a top 10 driver. Should be able to get in some fast laps. And he's always got the ability to get up front. And like we said, the track is going to be different than yesterday. And who is the best team out there at making adjustments throughout the race? That is the 5 team. So I don't really see any issue with Kyle Larson today. Kind of like Denny Hamlin, where it just feels like they find a way to get up there at some point. And plus, it's a great track. John Hunter Nemechek, Byron, or Larson and Heim on DraftKings. Already have Denny. Since you already have Denny, I guess I'll go with the Larson route. A little bit better there. Bonnie says, DFS Hero has Gragson at 0.01% optimal, so don't touch. I mean, I don't have any interest in Noah Gragson. I don't know what really DFS Hero is, but I have him at like 0% optimal. So I guess I'm in agreement with them. There's just really no upside for Gragson. He's starting in 5th. I got him predicted to finish around 18th. That is 12.7 points. I just see a need for him. Johnny Z says, Bella Ross, thanks and have a good one. I believe I have Ross just a little bit higher than Christopher Bell today. I know Bell is starting 11 spots further back, but I do think Ross has a better chance of getting closer to the front than Christopher Bell. What's up, Daniels? From one Chris to another, what are your thoughts on a 6,200, assuming unowned Jimmy Johnson in a slow hunk of metal, but before the next gen era, he was dominant here, 378 his last three. Yeah, the problem is, like you said, before the next gen era, none of that even matters a little bit. It's all about the next gen now. So I have Jimmy G. I guess I'm in the football mood. Jimmy Johnson projected for 22 points today, 24th place finish. Is it the worst? No, but I think there's better cheap plays out there. But if we're playing Jimmy, you just got to hope he doesn't spin, which he probably will at some point. That's who he is at this point. But I don't think Jimmy is actually going to be like, oh no, I think he comes in around 10-ish%. Does Wallace have any upside? A little bit. I got him optimal around 10 to 15% of the time, but at the same time, it's just kind of in a weird price range for me where I don't really see myself getting to a ton of him. I'm kind of finishing right around where he starts. Got a from man Geb, appreciate it. Says pants off today, Truex or lockout. Dude, I would love that one. But thank you for the dono, sir. And I wish your lineups the best of luck. And it says, looking for some fun bets today. Any win odds you still like, or long shot top 10s or top 5s? I mean, if I'm betting the only value I am showing is Hamlin, Byron, Blaney. But I just noticed Tyler Reddick showing a little bit of value. He was plus 1,500 on DraftKings. I have him fair at plus 1,400. So if you can get him at 15, that's like the one long shot I guess I wouldn't hate getting to. But other than that, pretty much all the top 10 and top 5 odds suck at this point. Andrew says, hey Chris, any thoughts on Ryan Preece on DraftKings? Yeah, he's one of my more favorite cheap plays back there for where he's starting in 28th. I think he should be able to move up. Triple G says, who are the two most owned drivers need to build around? Thank you. Two most owned drivers? I mean, ownership-wise today, I think it's going to be like Larson, Zane Smith, Chase Elliott. I wanted to build around them, sure, but I really like building around Denny Hamlin, William Byron types today. You don't have to play both together, but at least one of them. Is it okay to fade Busch? They haven't been very good. I mean, I think it's fine to be underweight on Busch today. Don't think he's going to run away with the race. He's got Byron right behind him to start. If Denny Hamlin not too far away. Like, I think Kyle Busch leads some laps today. I think he scores fairly well, but I'm not really sure it's going to be enough to be able to take down tournaments. I do think he'll fade back. I have a hard time seeing him be perfect today. I mean, you're the pole sitter. I mean, you have to have the car there. What's up, Margie? Monster Mile season? It sure is. Looking forward to the race today, hopefully. Hopefully it's all right. Kind of tempted to play Barry. He is good here. I don't hate Barry. He projected a little bit better than what I thought he was going to on Saturday. Like, I have him pretty much kind of for the same projection as Alex Bowman, and you're getting a $2,000 discount there. How do I rank these 11K guys on DraftKings? Also, do you like the 11K more or the 10K range? Seems to be a way to save a little bit more. That deforms to around Reddick, Busher, and Keselowski. Projection-wise, I mean, it's Larson, Hamlin, Byron, Truex, Chastain for me. Value-wise, though, Hamlin does show as the top for me in that range. Hamlin, Larson, Byron. It's all very close up there. You really just kind of have to mix and match. I mean, to say I have an extremely strong stance on those three as one being far away better than the other, I do not. I don't want to lie to you. I mean, I don't think it's just going to be one guy running away with the race. And things are going to change on pit road. There's probably going to be cautions at some point. I'm sure John Hunter Nemechek will take it into the wall fairly quickly like he always does. Jimmy Johnson, I'm sure, will take a spin. And, legacy is kind of like the free caution every week. John Hunter Nemechek spins, and then Jimmy Johnson will take a spin at some point. Then Nemechek will do it again later on. Just like it happens almost every single week. No Josh Berry love. I've mentioned Josh Berry quite a bit today. I don't love Josh Berry, but Preece versus Hocevar. I have Preece a little bit higher than Hocevar today. Do I like Larson to win? I do not have him as the projected winner. Would it surprise me? No. But at his current betting odds, I'm not touching that. I think they're way too short. Johnny says, is there somewhere you can go to see last year's winning lineup? You could Fantasy Cruncher Rewind, which probably pull that up. I don't know if it's free or not. I also know results database on either Fantasy Labs or Roto Grinders sometimes has them. But if you are curious of the last optimal lineup here, I can pull it up. I think the race was on April 30th last year. Or it was, well, it was on May 1st because it rained. But this is it. Larson 18th. Yeah, but yes, race. Last year's optimal lineup was William Byron in 8th, Truex in 17th, Chastain in 14th, Blaney in 3rd. Although Blaney was very cheap in that race, only $8,600. And then you had double punt with Harrison Burton and Corey LaJoie. It left $200 on the table. That was last year's optimal lineup. Which pretty much looks like the builds we were talking about today. Because you had like a guy starting in the top 10 that can dominate. You have Truex and Chastain kind of starting mid-packish. You can also pick up Dominator points. They both scored close to 100 fantasy points. Byron scored over 100. Blaney scored 54, just kind of running around getting fast laps all day. And then the punts, I mean, they were, but they actually scored pretty well. Burton had 34 points and Corey LaJoie all the way up to 35. I lost where I was. I'll find it though. Okay, Keegan says, I love this lineup. Low key, I built for 20 max. Hamlin, Larson, Gibbs, Keselowski, Zane, and Hocevar. Yeah, I like it. I mean, you have your guy up front that can dominate, like Hamlin. You have Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs. I like those guys mid-pack, Keselowski, Zane, and Hocevar. I think it's a pretty solid build right there. Single entry. What 2 drivers are you jamming? I mean, if I have to pick, I'm probably going either Byron and Hamlin with probably like a Ross or an Elliott. Just some combination of that, I guess. I still have to build, which I believe FanDuel locks in about 45 minutes. So I can't be on here too much longer because I gotta get these going. Do you prefer one of Elliott or Ross more than the other? Slightly prefer Elliott because he starts a little bit further back, but very close. Byron, Hamlin, Gibbs, Keselowski, Suarez, and Zane. I think that's very solid. Hard not to like the Byron, Hamlin, Gibbs. Byron, Hamlin builds today, and I do like the mid-range plays you have as well. So I think that's pretty solid. What's up, Xander? This is how we looking at Gibbs and Bell. I love Ty Gibbs today. Going one of my higher-owned drivers. And then Bell, he's a little bit expensive. I think you can get better value with like Chase Elliott. It's being $600 cheaper, but and yeah, Bell's obviously playable. It could, Dwayne. I mean, I can pull him up at any point, though. But I just don't really think looking at the previous optimals is like the most important thing to do because obviously so much can change from a weekend from last year. Like back in the day, like Gen 6, I mean, track history was something that I cared about. Like, hey, this guy's been optimal with this track so many times. And honestly, I thought it was actually pretty decent. But with the next gen car, I mean, all that stuff gets thrown away and it's just so much different from week to week. I mean, a team can be amazing one weekend and just completely miss it the next in this car. So I really don't look at the previous optimals too much like I used to back in the day. Who's going to the back, says Quand. I believe it's just all these guys in the back that are going to the back. Zane Smith, Bell, somebody else. Didn't really matter. I'm going to pull up Bob's Twitter, though. Make sure I didn't miss anything. To the rear, Bell, Smith, and Grallo. Probably all those guys in the back anyway. And top GP low one plays. I like Truex up top. I like Carson Hocevar down low. Tyler Reddick, I think, is a fine play in the middle. Some GPP options there. I would not take Larson to win at his current price. Hey, if we could predict pit road penalties, I would love to know, but unfortunately I cannot, so I can't bank on that. Last year, I believe he was coming out of pit road first, but the wheel just fell off and beat him out of pit road. So, fluke incident there, but I cannot build based off of guys just screwing up a pit road. It's just unknown. This race stay fairly clean? I'd like to know. Be nice if it would. Unless I need some chaos, and I'll take some chaos. I can pull up the previous races here and see how many guys DNF'd. People always seem to be interested in that. Last year, we had 1, 2, 3, we had 5 guys end up crashing out. Logano, Larson pretty much crashed out. Brendan Poole, Gregson, Forrest, and Ty Dillon. 2022, we only saw 4 guys come out. And also only had 15 in the lead lap. Last year, we had only 12 lead lap finish. So when we get a nice long green flag run, stage 3, we're definitely going to see a lot of guys lap down. What's up, Chris? Who are the top 2 leverage DOMs? Guys that should be under-owned up top are more than likely Martin Truex Jr. That, I mean, they're going to be owned, but I think Denny Hamlin and Byron won't be owned enough. No Blaney love. Kind of like the same play as Kyle Busch. No, Larson's odds are too short for me to take a bet on. I mean, would I be surprised if he wins? No, but I just can't do it at that price. I think about Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez is just a fine PD play. $6,700. He's cheap. I got him projected for around 30 points. It's fine. No ill will towards Daniel Suarez. Who are we playing for value? So Skyler. I like Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, Heim, Nemechek, Ryan Preece down low. What is my opinion on why Larson's odds are so short compared to Hamlin and the others? Does it seem the market is too ambitious? I mean, everyone just likes to pick Kyle Larson every single week. That's part of it. Also very good at Dover, and just, I mean, he's Kyle Larson. People take bets on him every single week, so that's probably the reason why. Do I think he should be the favorite? I do not. I think he should probably be 3rd or 4th today. I was honestly shocked that Hamlin or Byron wasn't the favorite after qualifying in practice. I mean, he should be in the top 5, but I think his odds went up to like around 5. Definitely should not be in the 3s and 4s though, like I saw from someplace earlier. He says, just realized it would suck for Jones to miss his best track next week. Where are we next week? I think of Jones' best track. I think of Darlington, but I honestly have no idea. We are at Kansas next week, then Darlington. Jones does have some good runs at Kansas. Darlington, those. Bowman or Keselowski? I'll take Keselowski. What's up, everybody? No problem at all, T-Phil. What did I miss here? Top drivers for today's slate. If you about stacking Team Jordan. Not really looking at stacking Team Jordan, but I mean, top plays, it's going to be like Byron, Hamlin. And pretty much all the 5 figure range guys. Let's chase. Then I like Ty Gibbs. I like Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Preece, Hocevar, Zane Smith. Kind of like a quick rundown there. FanDuel value, like for DFS or betting. I mean, for DFS, I mean, Zane Smith shows up as some value for me. I just don't really like the mid-range too much on FanDuel today, so I might just pump with Zane Smith and then just jam in all these studs. But I do think Keselowski is at a decent price over there. Daniel Suarez, viable. Oh, that sucks, Keith. Yeah, I got to get my lineups in, so I'll take just a couple more questions, then I'll get out of here. Last piece, 5,500 below in DraftKings. I will take Zane Smith. I don't really like LaJoy today, Danny. I just don't think that car's going to have too much speed in it. Anyone on Reddick? I think Reddick's a fine GPP dominator today. Shouldn't have too much ownership. He's $8,200. Like, he is extremely cheap today for a guy that has top 10 upside with fast lap potential. Honestly, I've updated MLB, but I have not been able to look at it recently. I remember liking the Yankees though quite a bit, and then Suarez and Scooble, whatever it is. Top of my head though, that's what I remember liking. All right, I should probably get out of here, guys. I apologize if I did not get to your question, but I am running out of time. I got to build. I got till around 2ish. So wish you all the best today. If you have any questions, you can try to reach to me. Otherwise, I'll try to get to it, but I will be in the Discord first and foremost. But appreciate y'all hanging out with me on your Sunday, and I wish you all